We are now this Hangout on Air is now live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Chattering with Nicholas Vince. And I'm chattering with Katie Bonham. Say hi, Katie.
Say hi, Katie.
Everyone does. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Everyone always does. I'm going to stop using that line. It's my fault. I'm just really talking to Katie, and I've been having a great fun. Incidentally, there may be various interruptions to this today. I do apologize. That's because Craig's away, so thank you to Dawson, who's monitoring the comments this evening. But that does mean that Bertie has come to join us, and Bertie managed to get hold of a complete block of Parmesan cheese yesterday. So that's now coming out, and every so often we're getting some very smelly farts.
But don't worry, we've got some lovely air freshener that is at hand, so I might be spraying around at any given moment.
Seriously, it is, honestly, it is so noxious. Or I think it's that, and we managed to get Graviglass as well, which is salmon.
Oh,
as well.
Salmon and cheese. Yeah. Perfect combo. Good times. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing is I have to give this to Katie.
Thank you so much.
This is Happy Valentine's Day, Katie.
Thank you so much. My first flowers. Thank you. I love them.
And Bertie immediately wants to know. Bertie wants to know as well. Actually, I'll put them back over. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll put them back over here.
And I've got you something.
You've got me something as well. This is.
I hope you like it. It's homemade.
It's homemade.
It's very rare.
It's very rare.
It's done by my fair hands and everything. So,
and it says, to my favourite Cenobite.
It's just a gift box.
P.S. Can't wait to chatter with you. Okay.
Can't chatter with you. Yeah, so I hope you like this. This is actually I'll let you open it.
You let me open it, and then you can tell me the story behind it. I love the fact that it's got black ribbon on it, which is so romantic. I
thought so.
Yeah.
It's not actually anything from Homebase. It says Homebase in the box, but I don't have a gift box, so.
I doubt if anyone can hear us because of all the wrapping paper. I can think of it.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Have you got sharp nails? Oh, actually, I've got scissors. No, I've got scissors.
I know, it's all right. I've into it.
No,
No, I got it. Don't worry about it. These guns have been.
You're stronger than I am. Oh, wow. Hold on.
They are homemade, I might add, and they were supposed to be made by like a little girl, so that then they're supposed to look like this.
Oh, wow. So these are amazing.
These are the original voodoo dolls from my first short film doll.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that you might like to have some. They're really weird. This one's covered in feathers. I'm not sure what happened, but these are handmade by, as you can tell from their very weird. This one's got a button for a mouth. Who did that?
And Bertie is really interested that you don't give them to Bertie, because Bertie will rip them to pieces.
But there's only 10 in existence.
There's only 10.
They're very rare.
Wow.
So you should keep hold of those.
You.
That's okay. Very random. Kind of romantic voodoo, you know. You can
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad.
That's not horror. I didn't know what to get you, so I thought I'll give you something you can't have. So yeah.
That's brilliant.
So if this whole film thing doesn't work out, I'll be making voodoo dolls. I'll start my own factory.
Yeah, and so you sell them as a kit with pins and so on.
Definitely to kids. Yeah.
Well, actually, that nicely brings us on to the before I come back to dolls, there are a couple of other things I do need to do. I need to do a couple of quick shout outs. So yeah, thanks to everyone who's subscribed on the YouTube channel recently. Normally I try and respond to people and send them a message, but YouTube doesn't seem to allow me to do that, so I don't know if there's anything I've done wrong, but I can't actually comment. And Dawson just said, "Who says romance is dead?" But yeah, so thank you very much indeed for subscribing to the channel. It really does help. If the more subscribers I get, the more people see the show, and that's more fun for everyone. Yeah, subscribe. This Thursday, I'm actually recording it tomorrow night, but this Thursday I'm going to be on Without Your Head radio podcast with Neil Jones. I'm going to be talking about the Frontier Comics collection, which I showed you the other week. a Frontier Comics collection, because did you know I used to write comics?
I didn't.
Yeah, no,
I should do this
absolutely.
about you. I'll ask you questions. I'd much prefer that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, Immortalis. I wrote a comic called Immortalis.
Oh, wow.
Illustrated by a gentleman called Mark Buckingham, and it's collected with that.
See you guys later.
So I'm going to be talking about that, and I'm going to be talking about, he says, leaning off camera, I'm going to be talking about The Night Whispered.
Good times.
Yes, good times. Absolutely. We'll talk about a little bit more about that later on as well. And then just to remind people, folks, talk about The Night Whispered, that the second blog post is now up on screenwriting and screenwriting apps. If you're not interested in screenwriting apps, the first half is about actually the first third is about screenwriting. That's just a nice short read. And it's kind of the whole process and why things are designed, with index cards.
Yeah.
The whole idea. If you look at a screenwriting, what do you use?
I use Celtex, which I know is really old school, because everyone's like, oh, if you don't use Final Draft and all that. I just find it easy to use, and I've always used it as well. I have actually got Final Draft, but I don't know. I just like it.
Fine. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Have you got the original version of Celtex, because it changed in the last year?
I got an update about 6 months ago.
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
I just use that.
Hey, if it works for you,
Works for me, but
I hate it. I just didn't get on with it at all, and it is sending the blog post. Basically, I tried to print something, and it printed the last page over the previous page.
Okay.
And I couldn't. I was on the way to a meeting to
Yeah.
email it to people, and I go, oh! Obviously, I could have done that before I'd left, rather than being stuck on a chain, and might have actually hit a deadline a little. Might have prepared a little, but that's up on the website and so on. But anyway, so before we come back to dolls, I wanted to talk to you about film theory. This is how you started, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved film. My mum's like a massive cine buff, so she always used to show me a lot of films when I was younger. So kind of carry on films to Hitchcock and all this kind of thing. So I grew up always loving film, and then when I decided to go to uni, really random, I was like complete ends of the spectrum. I was either going to do history or film. And kind of sacked history off because I didn't want to do that. And I decided to do film theory because I love to write. I love to write about film, and I decided that I wanted to be a film theorist, be an academic in film, maybe get a doctorate in it and write papers on film. So I did that for 2 years at Kent Uni, which was great. It was good. I love obviously watching films, and we covered loads of spectrums, from kind of animation to transnational cinema to American cinema to literally kind of every genre and every take, and a lot of theories and everything. And then kind of halfway through, I kind of realized that maybe I didn't want to be a film theorist anymore. And that, writing papers and dissertations and academic on film theory, I mean, that am I going to want to write that for the next 50 years? Am I going to want to write 20,000 words on trying to prove a theory or go against a theory? And I liked doing it at uni, and it was fine because I would never say that I would change not doing a film theory degree, because the way you read films, the way you understand how they come together, and how that kind of impacts on how you look at film and how your understanding of what film is and how you bring it together now, especially as a filmmaker. But I kind of decided it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I finished the degree, though. I got the degree, and then I worked in a music studio for a few years, which is fun in London. Crazy.
What were you doing?
It was a kind of sound studio, so we would mix sound for commercials and all that kind of thing. And then we had a voiceover part as well, so we'd have like people coming in to do to translate and everything for other nations and other nations, abroad and everything. Right. So I went there for a few years. That was great, but again, it wasn't really anything to do with film. And then I got a job at Shepperton Studios in London, which is where I work now still. And I work for a camera production company. Right. So I'm around kit continuously, and we're not talking just DSLRs. We're talking like Red cameras, Alexas, beautiful Cook lenses, and all the great good stuff. And then I kind of got in with a few creative people there, because there's some people there that are obviously there for the job, and they're there just to kind of make money and stuff. But a lot of people are there because we do get access to the kit. Good time. Oh God, I can't believe I just did that again. So we get access to kit, and there's a lot of creatives there. There's a lot of writers and people that want to produce and people that want to make film. So I wrote Doll, and I showed it to one of my
And
friends.
that's the dolls we just been shown.
And that's the voodoo dolls. I just give it
Okay.
to Nick very nicely.
Just make
They'll be worth millions. No, they won't.
they might be. You never know. It will be one day.
So I wrote doll, and then I was speaking to a few people at work, and yeah, they said, well, you know, why don't you make this? It's easy. It's, you know, it's only a few pages. Let's go and make it. So that was my first film, which is about a little girl that makes voodoo dolls.
Oh, is that online yet?
It is online. It's on Vimeo. Yeah.
It's on Vimeo.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can watch it on Vimeo. Yeah.
Make sure I've got a link to that.
Yeah.
I think I've actually seen that one.
Oh, I've seen the link.
Yeah, please do. No, do.
Yeah,
So
just
because
Vimeo and you'll find it. And yeah, that was my first kind of taste of actually properly making a film. But it was good. It was fun. And my parents are super supportive. So back to the homestead for that one.
Okay.
Mum, can I have your garden?
So literally you filmed it in the back garden?
Yeah, I filmed it in the back garden and in the lounge. Yeah. Yeah. So that was an exciting weekend.
And how many in the cast?
There were, I did the voice of the mum because we didn't have anyone else to do it. I didn't want to do it, but obviously I didn't have anybody. So I play the voice. I was the voice.
Yeah.
And there's two little girls. Fern, who is in Mindless.
In Mindless.
What's my film? Mindless.
I know.
Do you know? Do you know what my film is?
I only remember the title of your film.
She's in Mindless.
Yeah.
And then I brought her back. I brought her back for Mindless, but she was originally in Dull with her little sister actually. So
really?
Yeah. So
this sounds
check
really
it out,
good.
guys. It's online. Yeah, go for it.
And how big a crew was it?
Oh goodness, there was 2 of us.
Just you.
2, yeah.
The camera.
Yeah, yeah, me and the DOP.
Literally just. Did you record live sound or is it?
Oh no, there was sound. Sorry, I lied to your face. There was 3. There was DOP, me, and sound. My mate Lewis strapped him up with a boom mic, pointing it that way. That's how you. That's how you record sound. So so just 3 of us. I mean, my mum was kind of milling around making teas and stuff, and you know,
catering.
Kate, she was catering.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was what 5? Yeah, 5 in total, and then me with my terrible voiceover.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's fine.
I don't like that.
How long? It's really and voice is worse. It's actually the moment you listen to your voice.
I think as well because it was just a voiceover. I really over articulate. I was doing very, very pronunciations of everything, every single word. It was just like, oh my God, who is this idiot speaking back to me right now? But yeah, no, and it was good. It was fun. And it was just a good starting point as well because it was a really small crew. And
right.
It was like, just at my mum's house. There was none of the kind of, worries of locations or people in the background and that kind of thing. So that's where it started. And then we did the Porcelain Ground. Okay,
so before we do that, so it's a small crew.
Yeah.
What camera did you use?
We used a C300.
Okay, so that's a Canon.
Yeah, Canon C300.
Canon C. I'm just fascinated by. I'm getting really into the idea of kit and what can be done and so on. Okay, so and how long did it take to film?
A day.
A day, literally a day. Starting early in the morning, or?
Yeah, early morning. And then we wrapped around 5.
Well, that's very civilized.
Yeah.
And how long's the film?
The film is 3 minutes.
3 minutes, a nice short. Yeah, so nice.
Small,
so nice, small.
Yeah.
Intimate. Little film. Oh, brilliant! All right. So that's dolls.
Yeah, that's
doll or doll. Doll singular.
One doll.
One doll, even though there's obviously a lot more.
Well,
doll.
It's about one doll in particular. But she's got a lot of them, so she's like done this before.
Oh,
I
see.
Freaky.
Oh, I see.
You're like, isn't it sweet? She's making a duck. No, it's not sweet. She's a psycho. She's 9 and she's a psycho.
Let's give it all the plot away.
We'll just watch it anyway.
We'll just watch it anyway. It's fine. All right then. Okay, cool. A quick share. iPad, iPhone, screenwriting on the go. Scripts Pro formats everything for you. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Whoever that came in from, I'm not sure if that's Dawson or somebody else. Dawson left.
Is that Dawson just telling us?
It may be.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks.
We'll assume it's somebody told us. Okay, so you filmed at your mum's, and and then the next film was Porcelain Ground.
The Porcelain Ground, yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
Nick, could you do your research, please? Jeez.
You did. Well, you said I might have done it.
No, you have, because we first met. I sent you the links to my other films. You've seen all of them. You've seen all of them because unless you lie.
Or I have an incredibly bad memory.
You said they were very good.
They are very good.
So you have seen them.
I have seen them.
Unless you're just like, oh, click, skip. God.
I think the one I really remember is the next one,
Okay,
which we're going to talk
get
about.
That. Yeah, whoa. Structure, please. Chronological.
Okay. What? Anyway, sorry, we're getting silly comments coming in. Where were we? We were talking about Porcelain Ground, and see, I've got this written up on the screen. Shortcuts to Hell. So tell me about. So how did Porcelain Ground come about, and what is Shortcuts to Hell?
So Porcelain Ground is actually a feature that I wrote. It's like 95 pages, and it is set in a small English town. And it is about a serial killer who kills his victims, and then he goes back after they've been buried, digs them up, but replaces their bodies with china dolls fashioned around them and how they look. So he basically kills them, lets the family mourn, and then starts to collect them afterwards. Yeah.
Goosebumps. This sounds horrible.
And then I'd actually already written it, and then I heard about Shortcuts to Hell, which is actually volume 2, because I did one the year before. But I think that the one that I did, which was volume 2, was the first time that you were asked to make a 3-minute short based on a feature idea that you had, and if you got through, they would actually fund it.
Right.
So I'd already kind of written it anyway, so I was kind of hopefully in a better place because I knew what I wanted to do. But I had 95 pages, and then actually trying to reduce that down to 3 minutes was a bit, because it couldn't be a trailer. It had to be a kind of standalone short. It couldn't just be like, these are the best bits. Right.
I
don't want to do that. Like, there's guns. There's no guns, but there might be. I don't know. There's not. I don't know why I did. You know what I meant though. So I condensed it down and made the Porcelain Ground, and we shot in a cemetery. We shot in my mum's house again because she loves it when I shoot in her house. I actually rang her and said, because my dad is a civil engineer, but he's really good with his hands. He's a mechanic. He can fix anything that breaks. He can build anything. You know, he built our garage. He's like really hands on. So I rang him first and said, "Can you make me a coffin?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll make you a coffin." I was like, "Thanks." And then I rang my mum and I said, "Can I dig up your garden, please?" And she said, "Well, what's it for?" I said, "It's for a film." "Yep, straight away. Me and Dad will dig it up." Because I was going down on the Friday night, so I got down there and they'd dug a hole in their lawn, and my dad had built a coffin and put it in there for me. It's actually a picture on Facebook of me in the coffin. It's like a small coffin because I didn't need a full length one, but it's me sat in it.
Oh, this is, you use this on,
I think it's on my Skype.
It's on your Skype. It's on your Skype. Yeah.
So and then we had to shoot in a woodland as well, and it was really funny actually because I assumed that getting the cemetery setting was going to be a nightmare. Like, you know, because he's kind of digging as well a little bit. So I thought this is going to be a nightmare, but actually the Kent Council were great. Like, we've got this graveyard, or we've got this one, and we've got this one, or this one. What do you want? It's all for free. And I was like, oh, okay, this is really easy. And the woodland was a nightmare. Because they obviously lease it to proper big budget films. Right. Well, you know, this film shot there, right? And I was like, look, you know, I've got no money. Because the limit as well for Shortcuts to Hell was £666. See what they did there? So I was like, you know, I have that kind of money. And it was kind of, do we just run and gun? Do we just get in and shoot and get out? But I didn't want to do that because I was being above board.
Well, also, it went on because it was going to be broadcast on TV. Is that right?
It was broadcasted on. It's actually, you can actually buy it on iTunes now because they released it as an anthology, so it's actually available on iTunes. You
keep on saying, you mentioning who was
Shortcuts to Hell. So they did 26. They picked 26.
Oh, okay.
And then get done for semi-finals and everything, and then the final 3, and then the final 1 was supposed to get funding.
Dun, dun, dun.
A year and a half later, and I have not seen that film. And I would like to point out that if I'd have got 3, you would have seen the film. Just saying.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I paid for the permit and we shot it over 2 days. And it was good. And it was good fun. I think it looks amazing. There's a really nice shot in the cemetery where he's walking towards camera, and it's This is nice.
Oh, cool. And is that online?
It's one I always put. It's like a photo I always put up online.
You put the photo. I've seen the photo. Yeah.
So we did that. I got through to the pitch stage. It was 10 of us. And we know how good I am at public speaking.
Very good.
So I did a pitch, which I don't know how well it went. I didn't get through anyway. I think they were worried because there's the big reveal is pretty hardcore, and it would have cost a lot of money to make. I mean, I thought we could have done it, but you know. So no, I didn't get through. But it went on iTunes. It's still on iTunes to buy. I'm not saying you have to buy it. Message me and I'll send you the link. But yeah. So. But
don't tell anybody because they get upset. Apple get upset if you do things like that. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the Porcelain Ground.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. And that was what, 2012? Or?
No, I've only been making films for 2 years. So this was 2014. Yes, 2014. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Gosh. Yeah. All right. So this 2014. So questions come in from Paul Yan. Everything seems to be a connection to a doll or human caricature. Was this intentional or your prior works, or is that kind of a theme? It seems to be. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a theme. I kind of have a draw to nostalgia and the kind of childhood elements that we all kind of link ourselves to. And I always like the idea that, you know, you think you know someone, but it's digging underneath. It's finding their real personality and their real motives. And especially with the dolls. I mean, I personally find dolls super creepy. And I kind of wanted to draw that out in my first 2 films. I think even within the next 2 with the Paper Round and Mindless, it is that kind of just surface, but it's like what's behind the surface, what's underneath, you know.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question.
Hopefully it's answered the question. You just kind of reminded me that there's on my Facebook, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, but Crypt TV have literally just done a 15-second scare about dolls. And it's just
I've seen that.
Yeah, and it was done by the winner of 15-second horror challenge, which is something separate to Crypt TV. But just a brilliant, absolutely amazing stuff. A question just come in from Paddy Murphy. Tell you what, Paddy, we will hold your question because I'm going to try and get you. I'm going to point at the screen now.
Not yet. I was mouthing. I don't know why, because I know you could hear me.
It's a very good question, Paddy. I'm going to try and get you on live. Just make a comment as to whether or not you'd like this one answered now, or whether or not you're going to come on live, because I don't want to bring you on live and not have a question to ask.
Good point.
He may have more questions, of course. This is me just jumping the gun. Of course, you can ask other questions as well, Paddy. So that was Porcelain Ground, which I have watched. I did like it.
What happened in it? What happened?
Well, I don't know, but there's this great scene in a forest, and then there was another one in a cemetery.
I just listed those exact things.
Oh, busted.
Terrible.
Yeah, you have to. You're not. This is no reflection on the quality of your work.
No.
Great reflection on the quality of my memory.
I'm highly insulted that you don't watch my films on repeat every day.
Yeah. I'll remember that. Yeah, I'll put it in the diary for the morning. So the next one is Paper Round. I do remember this one really, really clearly.
Do you? What happens in it?
Well, there's one really, really great bit, and I don't want to give away. I hate spoilers. You know, I hate spoilers. But it's the bike with the card and the wheels, the bicycle wheel, and the guy. That
wasn't even planned.
Was it not?
No, when it stops on Queen of Hearts.
Yes.
That was a happy accident. I was like, yes, got it. That was a happy accident. That wasn't even meant to happen. So yeah, I mean, I totally planned that. I was there stopping it, and it was like, whoa.
So how did Paper Round come about?
The Paper Round, I'd kind of been playing with the idea for years, actually, because I used to write a lot of short stories, and I actually did a Paper Round growing up to make some extra money. I was terrible at it, though.
Really?
So bad. Worst paper girl ever. I love my bed. I love it. I'd be like bowling up at 7 a.m. He's like, you're supposed to be here at 5. And I'm like, I know. I don't know what to say. Terrible. I actually kept the job for 2 years though. They were low on the ground for paper people, low on the ground. So yeah, they had no one else to do it. So I was like, yeah, I was really bad at that. So I'd written it. I kind of had the idea going around in my head for a few years before I wanted to make it. But I don't know. There's something about, you know, 6 a.m. It's winter. It's really, really dark. You're kind of a young girl. You're out there on your own.
How old were you?
I was 13, 14 when I first started. So I don't know, kind of that moment, you know, you walk through streets and you kind of detach from people. When you actually have to walk up a pathway or walk somewhere and you kind of get into people's routines, you see what they're doing, or you see if they're lights and you see if they're up, you can kind of hear them talking, and it's just for that split moment you're kind of interrupting their life. I know it seems like a really minimal thing, but the fact that you're delivering a paper, you've got that moment of connection with them, and then you're walking back away. And it's also the idea, like, it was a lot of the houses as well had like quite long, there was one that was like down the end of this massive dirt track, and you're just walking along there, riding along there. Just take my bike, and you know, it's pitch black, it's in the middle of the night, and you think, I have no idea what I'm about to come across, because it's like on a weird house. Obviously you're not really invited in, but you kind of are. So I was just fascinated by that idea of that kind of momentary connection to people. And I'm a little bit obsessed with mornings as well, because I like the idea. No, I don't like them. I don't like them. They're horrible. But maybe but I kind of always feel that in the morning when you wake up, that's kind of your truest self.
Oh, interesting.
You know, I always feel like if I've got some worries or something happening, or something's bad's happening, or something that I'm, you know, thinking about a lot, or I'm stressing out about that for the next day, you wake up in the morning and for that, there's a split second of like serenity. And it's like, boom, oh God, that happened. Oh, I've got to do that today. I've got to do this. And it's just that kind of moment of clarification, just realization when you're in bed and you're just like, oh, I've got to like face that. I've got to do that today. And I just kind of find that interesting with early mornings. It's like weird.
No, it's not. I normally have a dog licking my face first thing in the morning.
No, but I just think the kind of early morning connection and that kind of, I don't know, that kind of haunting early morning, I think fascinates me. So with the paper round, I kind of wanted to draw that into it with the paper boy.
Okay.
Continuously, and he's doing what, you know, delivering his paper. It's like, I can't say too much because it's like really, really short.
Yeah,
but that's
absolutely.
Kind of where I wanted to draw it from. And I think the paper round as well, I mean, I'm massively influenced by social realism and psychological horrors. So kind of Mike Lee, Cleo Bernard, Andrea Arnold. Like, so I kind of want to draw social realism into it a lot as well. And kind of just have the kind of mundane. Okay. He's going through his own personal tragedy, and you know, it's an everyday guy. He's not someone that you're going to read about. He's not somebody that's, you know, this massive star. He's not like a superhero or anything. It's just his personal story. But like Death of a Salesman, he's just a man. Yeah. But I kind of find that interesting, and you're drawn into his kind of world, and basically, you know, what he's going through at that moment. And I kind of feel stuff like that is actually more interesting because you can connect on it with a higher level than seeing, you know, something that you can never really understand because it's out of your reach, or, you know, you're never going to be a Superman and you're never going to, but it's that kind of connection where you can understand what he's kind of going going through at the same time, and kind of drawing based that out. Based in reality. Yeah, you know, social realism. It's kind of his facing his own demons. So that is something that I kind of want to draw out in all my films now, really. That's the plan.
That explains an awful lot about a film I acted in.
Oh, does I heard about that film. I heard the director was a hater.
There was the classic moment where the director said to me, Nick, I think you're just saying words. You're not acting. Oh, okay. Fine.
Can you act?
Yeah, can you act, please?
I didn't say it like that. I was really nice about it.
I immediately said, okay.
Saying words.
So I immediately said, okay, well, in that case, what I want is
I want all the yellow.
I want them. Could she just do that in that case? That will really help me get into character. This was the second day. I had a bad night's sleep. We got it in the end. Though. Yeah. And Katie's a great director. I really enjoyed it. No, it's true. The fact that you know how to handle actors, and I really, really respect that you can speak to actors, you can speak to the rest of your crew and team and so on. But anyway, enough praising you. Let's go back to the interview.
Yeah. We're doing an interview?
because you're getting embarrassed, I can tell. Okay, so what happened with Paper Round then?
So yeah, we finished the paper round and I put it in for FrightFest Glasgow and it got in. Great time.
It's just like you wrote them a nice little, please see my film.
Yeah, it was actually a little bit of a nightmare because there was a miscommunication. I thought I'd entered it and the application didn't go through, and then I got an email from Paul saying, I thought you were going to enter your film. I was like, I did, what are you talking about? And then it was just like, ah.
So this is Paul, who's one of the
yeah. I mean, I've been to FrightFest for like 8 years now. Yeah, so I've been there for a long time, and they were all kind of my first go-to guys because obviously, like, I've got a lot of friends in the audience, and I love the vibe there, and just to play there is always the aim. That's always the goal for me anyway. So yeah, and it got through, and then I went up to Glasgow. It was actually my first FrightFest Glasgow because I hadn't done it before. But yeah, so that was the first time I went. Obviously, a film was playing, so I had to go. Darling.
So just to clarify for anyone who's in America or who doesn't know, so there's a FrightFest, which is normally 4 or 5 days in London over the bank holiday in August, which is I managed to get to one, like the first one. I've been before because we screened. The Cabal cut of Night Breed.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it. It was amazing. Yeah, my mate Tim, you might be watching. I can't tell you.
You can't. We can just see a little.
My friend, I go with to FrightFest with my mate Tim, who's always a really good author as well. Yeah, he's very good. And I wasn't going to go because I was like, I don't know if I really want to go. And then I was in the pub. Strange. The night before with Tim, and he was like, no, you should go, you should see it, really, we should be. And I woke up the next morning, I went in the morning.
No, because it was the first film of like 11 o'clock in the morning,
so we bowled up. And it was so good. I really enjoyed it. I hadn't actually seen the original. It's the first time I've actually ever seen it, so I saw it in its entirety. But yeah, no, I had a good time. Thanks, Tim. Well done if you're watching.
No, thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Yeah.
That was a really, really special day because we met there because a couple of guys, Mark Miller, had come across from the States, who went on to find the original footage, which then became the director's cut of Night Breed. Because Mark is.
Was that also in a drawer?
Was that also what?
Also in a drawer. Wasn't the Cabal cut? Wasn't there?
No, the Cabal. No.
It
wasn't in a drawer. No, it was in
behind.
Clive's. It was in the shelves. It's like my books. It's like my books, which are always too deep.
Yeah, he was looking for it for years.
Yeah.
He was like, what's this?
Or it was so what they had was a work print, and they actually had the work print of Night Breed, which they then got handed to Russell Cherrington, who then took the work print without asking anybody's, but just as a favor, he wanted to do this for Clive. Took the book, took the original script, and took the DVD, and just got it as close to the original script and story as possible. Mark Miller, who's CEO of Seraphim Films with Clive, then they managed to find the original footage, all the dailies, all the and when I say footage, I do mean film like that, wrapped around in little boxes and in a warehouse somewhere in the middle of America. And then it was Mark who produced the director's cut, which is quite a bit different.
Oh, okay. I'll
from
check it out.
Cabal.
Tim, what are you doing? Tim?
I think it's on Netflix.
We need a movie night.
It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is on Netflix.
Oh, okay, director's cut.
It's on Netflix. And Paddy is going to ask a DOP. What is the key to this is a question from Dawson. What is the key to real horror, and which director has done it best in your opinion?
Oh my God, Dawson! Jesus Christ! I mean, for me personally, it is a kind of psychological horror, social realism aspect. It is I want to watch a film and be scared and horrified, and kind of have a film that I will always think about after I've left, like the cinema, wherever I am. But something I can personally connect to, something that is real. I think no, that could happen.
Yeah.
Because people are quite private in their lives, and you never know what's going on in someone's life. But to kind of have that snippet into someone's personal space, what they're going through, but at the same time, it's quite tragic. And I always feel like with horror films, it's not so black and white. It's not, oh, he's the bad guy, these are the victims. Oh no, we're rooting for the victim. Like, how did that guy get there? Why is he doing this?
Sure.
And I feel like there's always more of an interesting story when you kind of get into the motives of things and why things are the way they are and how people are feeling. People don't just you know, people aren't just bad, they're pushed into it. There is something that kind of triggers them off. But I think especially with social realism, you can really connect and engage with someone's pain, I think.
Right.
And happiness as well. Depressing. No, but so I think that for me, I mean, it's actually really funny because I mean, I love horror. I'm a massive slasher whore. I love slasher films. So, I mean, gosh, in regards to who's done that best, gosh, I'm just trying to think. Put me on the spot.
Carpenter? Or...
Yeah, I mean, maybe Carpenter, but I think more from the kind of social realism aspect. I think it kind of depends what you define horror to be. Because for me, you know, watching a social realism film for me is fucking horrific. Because I, you know, like Mike's Lee, Another Year, every time, all the way through, I cry. It's just Leslie Manville is amazing in it. She is stunning at playing her character. She's kind of she's a mid-40s, 50s, alcoholic, and she's kind of latching onto this really happy couple, and she's just really tragic, and it's just her trying to find someone and find a connection with someone. It's just heartbreaking. So that for me is the kind of horror that I would connect, you know, kind of that kind of fear with. But I don't know. I don't know if per se, like a normal horror film has ever really done that for me. But I do love horror films. But
well, I was going to say, because if you've been to FrightFest 8 years,
I hate horror films. No, but I think on that level of realism, I'm not sure really who's kind of encapsulated that for me. So
interesting.
I might know someone who might though.
We'll come to that later. Okay, we'll come to that. Okay, so but what I wanted to come back to FrightFest at Glasgow. Mm-hmm. So you're there.
I'm there.
You're there, and you're just about to go up on stage. Who else went up on stage with you?
The lovely Pat Fagan came up on stage. Pat might be watching too. He's probably not. He's pretty sick of my voice. What are you doing to my film? I'm joking. Yeah, Pat, and it's actually funny because Pat scored all of my short films, and I've never actually met him. Well, I did then, but I hadn't met him up to that point. And he's so good at what he does. He's amazing, and he's very quick at making changes or even samples. I think for Mindless, he sent me over like 9 samples within like I think a week or something. And he told me that the last one was the crazy one, and I was like, I love the crazy one. Let's go with the crazy one. So he came up on stage with me. My mum was in the audience. My mum flew up to Glasgow with me because it's my first world premiere, and I was like, Mum, it's like 5 minutes, and she's like, no, I'm coming with you. And I was like, okay. She hates horror films, so I might point out. So she stayed for like 2 films, I think. But she was in the audience, and it was just me and Pat. And as we all know, I'm terrible at public speaking. And oh god,
you never have a word to say for yourself, do you?
I gave an instruction speech, but yeah, it wasn't great. To be fair, it wasn't good. But I'm working on this year. So I'm working on it. I'm getting lessons.
Have little cards.
Yeah,
I've got to remember to do this. Yeah.
But no, it was good. Did the introduction, and actually, Pat had a little cry as well. Sorry, Pat. Sorry.
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, because I think it was the first time we met. It was quite an intense experience for both of us because you know you're screening at where you want to screen. Yeah. You're kind of on stage on your own, and you're kind of meeting a new person who you owe a kind of lot to as well. Because film is so collaborative, and and you literally just met him before. Yeah, a few minutes, and it wouldn't be the same film without him. So it was kind of intense. We kind of shared a little cry, and it's like, oh, this is amazing.
He's a lovely man. I met him for the first time when Craig and I were up in Scotland last.
Oh, nice. I love him.
He's brilliant, Pat. And that was because Pat is also doing the music for The Night Whispered. And again, just it's just like, this is sounding really, really crazy, but I can't imagine that you're going to be able to do that. Well, funny enough, I can. Okay.
Yeah, he's so good. He's just so on point as well. He
really understands. I was like, because I gave some feedback, I was saying, I just need it slightly, shorter or faster or something like that. Not a problem.
Yeah,
it's fine. We'll
and he's so quick at turning around as well. Yeah. It's so quick at turning around. It's like weeks and weeks. Like I've done it like an hour later. So yeah, it's really good. And yeah, it was a really good experience. And I think I got a good reception as well. I don't think I realised at the time. But I had a few people come up to me. I mean, one woman, actually Dave, my editor, I don't know if he's watching, he might be. But he actually told me that he's
editing Night Whispered as well. There's a family thing going on here, you realise.
And he told me that someone had watched the paper round and he was chatting to them outside, and they said, oh, they loved it so much they had to go and ring their family and just tell them they loved them.
Whoa.
And he told me that like a few days ago, and I was like, what? So yeah, like even just a few reactions like that. And my friend Mitch Bain, actually, he's from Aberdeen.
Right.
Yeah, he massively loved the paper round. He came and told me, and we had a big discussion about it. So yeah, just a few people, you know, but it's always worth it. And yeah, it was a great experience. Just wish I'd nailed that intro speech. Who is that bumbling, stuttering woman on stage? Get her off.
I upset somebody before the screening of Hellraiser at this last year's festival, because I was outside the cinema and they screened The Arrow.
Yeah, I was there.
You were there. You sat next to me.
I was there. So this massive thing happened where I filmed this film called Mindless. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Tell you, it's just old age.
Because when you were on screen, I kept going like that to you.
I know. It was very strange. And then laughing at me because I jumped at the bit that I always jump at. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I upset somebody beforehand because I was writing my speech on my phone before making notes.
Oh, that's good though.
And it's kind of like, and then of course I walked up, and I was referring to it is okay to have a card just with the bullet points that you want to actually make, particularly if you're going to thank people.
Yeah, I can carry my hand maybe.
Yeah, you write it on your hand.
But it might melt and I'll be like, somebody.
No, okay, so it's we've got about 20 minutes of the show to go, and I know that Damon and Paddy at least definitely want to come and join us if they can. So I'm going to invite you on, boys. Whilst I ask Katie the next question, I have to do a little bit of a technical thing, and I'll just say, if there's anybody else who would like to come and join Katie live, do please let Dawson know in a comment, and he'll pass that on to me. So let me just see if I can get Paddy Murphy, yes, there we are, and Damon. Actually, I'm going to invite Annette and Damon because we've tried this before in the past. Actually, I'll invite Annette. We'll invite all of them. We'll invite all the Rickards. We'll just invite all the Rickards that I could possibly find. One of them, hopefully. So you'll be joining it. So whilst that's happening and they're coming on board, so you did FrightFest Glasgow, and then kind of things changed. You started doing first AD.
Yeah, well, I attempted to make my 4th short film called Keepsake. Still gives me night terrors.
Laugh. I really shouldn't laugh.
And then obviously it was a complete nightmare. We lost funding. Well, we didn't make funding on Kickstarter. We didn't reach target, so we didn't really have any money. And I was like, okay, strip it back. I'll fund it. And then we lost location the day before after 4 months of planning. Oh.
I'll never forget.
Yeah, pain. I think I was crying when I ran it.
I think you'd actually spoken to about 3 or 4 people by that stage.
So yeah, that happened, and it was like, okay, we'll just leave that where that is. We won't film that. And then I got a call from Damon. I don't actually know when I met Damon. I was trying to think of this the other day because it was like in an interview question I got asked, and I was like, I don't know when I used to, because they asked me about ADing, and I was like, oh, I don't know how, like when he first asked me. Anyway. Damon called me and said that he was making the package, and would I like to AD? And I was like, absolutely, definitely, I'm on board. No idea what they do, but I'll work it out because it's fine. But I think because of the 3 previous shorts I'd done, you know, like I said, minimal crew. I mean, the paper round, there was like 7 of us for the paper round, well, 4 crew. So I'd never had an AD, but I'd always kind of covered all bases. Of organisation and all, you know, basically all the logistics and all the call sheets, breaking down the script and all this kind of thing. So I kind of went away and I did a bit of research. Thought, well, I've done this before, you know, it's not like it's nothing I've never done before. So I said yes, and then we shot the package, which was great. I don't think we ran over that much. So I did a right job. For any of your potential people out there looking for an AD,
how many days was it?
Job.
How many days? 2 days.
2 days. Yeah.
On location.
On location. It was this really, I don't know how to describe it actually. It was this kind of derelict building out down in Portsmouth. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. But we were in there, but it was it was really, really hot outside. So we'd be in there, be loads of smoke machines, it'd be freezing, and then outside it's like bliss, sunshine. So the crew were like trying to crawl out halfway through the day, like, let us out. So I did that, and then, which was great. Thanks, Damon. And then I'm even looking at your list, like, what did I do next? And then I did Dead Bitch with Chelsey Burdon, which was yeah, really good. We did 4 days worth of shooting, and that was great. I came on pretty late to that, so yeah, it was a little bit more stressful with a lot of prosthetics. I met Paul Weil, who's pretty much a master of what he does. He's great. He's great.
He's really, really good.
So yeah, did you want me to run through all the ones I've done? Sorry.
No, it's right.
And then I did this, and then I did that.
No, you carry on talking. I'm trying to. I have invited Damon and Paddy to come on board.
Okay.
So hopefully they're going to. Jonathan Hughes will probably join us. Hopefully, and Steve Zarevsky. I'm just typing you in now. These things are always really interesting to see who we can actually get.
Who's going to be there?
Who's actually? Well, it's not so much that; it's the technical issues at the other end.
So yeah, I did Dead Bitch, which was great. And, you know, seeing Chelsey at work. She'd done She before. That was really good fun. It was a little bit more stressful, but there was a lot more prosthetics, and there was a lot more.
I'm just going to mute Jonathan for a moment. There we are, Jonathan. Okay, cool. Carry on.
And then I'm so really bad. I don't know what order they went in. What the hell did I do next? Can you move that up for me? Thanks.
There we are.
And yeah, and actually around this time last year, I met Andy Stewart at a pub while I was at FrightFest.
Right.
Weirdly, I was in the pub. We kind of started talking.
We got Paddy. Hold
on.
Paddy's joined the call. I'm just going to mute Paddy as well. Just so.
Be quiet, Paddy. I'm not touching Andy Stewart at a pub while I was at FrightFest. Oh my God, I can hear myself talking.
I know. That's what I'm trying to. There we are. Yes, Paddy's muted as well. Okay.
Yeah, so I met Andy Stewart, and obviously I'd seen some of his other films, Dysmorphia, Ink and Split, which were amazing. Love Split, it's my favourite, I think. Yeah, and he invited me up to go and work on Remnant as a second AD. So Remo was first AD, I was second AD, and yeah, that was great. I mean, it kind of felt like a bit of a step up because it was so professional, and it was just like a bigger crew, and there's like a lot more locations, and it was a longer script than I'd ever worked on before, and yeah, it was super professional, and yeah, it was just a great vibe on set. You know, when you kind of get into a flow on set, you know, you get into a flow, and you're all just kind of creating a film, and you're all just there together, and it's good to see on a bigger scale with a bigger crew, whereas you get that on smaller stuff, but I
think how many people there really
was. Yeah, it was quite a lot of people.
Yeah, at least 2 makeup artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 2, yeah.
Yeah, there were 2 makeup.
But yeah, I mean, and that was a great experience. It's just, don't know, being on set and being creative, it's always great. I mean, I come off set and I'm like, oh, what am I doing now? What am I doing next? And I was kind of lucky last year to work on so many film sets because I still got the chance to be, you know, collaborative and creative and work towards something. So I felt pretty lucky for last year because it wasn't like I did one film and I was like, oh God, what do I do for 12 months? So I kind of was lucky in that sense, really. Right. And I'm kind of okay at it, I think.
Well, people keep on asking you to do it. I mean, I think you must, because people do keep.
I'm rubbing. By the way, I'm stroking the dog. By the way, just realised that. And then
he's feeling left out, so we're both stroking the dog now. And we've just been asked to invite Damon Rickard again because there's technical issues. Oh, and Steve's there. And okay, Jonathan's being very quiet. Okay, let me just try. Bear with me, folks.
Shall I carry on talking?
You carry on talking, yeah.
Again, I've been promised and everything. I've got it in a Facebook message and everything, so I'll hold him to ransom on that one.
Sorry, I may have just muted us whilst you were talking. Sorry, I was trying to invite Damon again, and I clicked the wrong button. So if we lost any of that,
I don't know what I said.
No, neither do I, because I was concentrating on the screen.
And then I worked on Mark Logan's Rats.
You did work on Mark Logan's Rats.
Which was intense. That was an intense shoot. Night shoot, 2 nights in a castle, 14-page script, prosthetics through the roof,
external
working
and
towards
internal.
the dawn and trying to catch everything. Yeah, that was
Ghostbuster tours,
Ghost Hunter tours going through the background, prosthetics, trying to get them done on time, working against dawn, trying to do 14 pages in 2 days. It was pretty intense. But you know what? you know, that's exactly what it's about.
I have to say,
collaborating and just making it work. You know?
Was an extraordinary. Because I was in that one as well.
Stop following me.
I know. Yeah, people will talk. And it was just an amazing. I mean, all kudos to Mark as well as yourself and everybody involved in it. Because Mark was just kind of like, okay, we're going to drop that shot. We're dropping that shot. It really was. Yeah. And this was filmed in a castle. But
you know, it's those kind of challenges. You take everything away from every film that you go to. Everything I've ever AD'd on, and it's also really interesting. From my point of view, when you AD, you know, you're not a creative side of it at all, but you are watching how other directors work, how they piece it together, whether they're like, you know, massive into storyboards or shot lists, and how they themselves visualize it and how they command the crew. I mean, obviously, as an AD, you are leading and controlling the crew and making it work, but to actually see other directors and how they kind of piece it together was really interesting as well for me.
Okay.
So everyone's kind of got their own thing that they do. I'm not going to say what, but everyone's kind of got their own thing. So yeah, Rats was good, intense. I think I was up for 29 hours after the first night, and I was tired by then. And you know I don't like to not sleep. So
no, I know.
I was sat in McDonald's having a very healthy breakfast. I was like, oh, I can't do it.
Trying to put this up because we were away filming, and Steve, I'm just going to mute you for a moment. Actually, tell you what, that's fine. That will actually work. We had to wait at McDonald's because we had to stay outside because the Japanese football team was staying in the town at every hotel.
Well. God, those guys. Yeah, it was intense. I don't know how. Yeah, we got it though in the end. Like kudos, like we got it. Well done, Mark. Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's
just nightmares about it now. And then the last film I AD'd on was yours. I don't know.
With Bertie. Because Bertie was in it.
I don't know if you read the thing I recently did for Real Scares. Because you asked me to AD, and I looked at your script and was like, oh, you've got a child. Oh, you've got a dog. Oh, we're shooting at night. Good. All three things as an AD that I love to do. But yeah, no. Had to say yes,
I absolutely. Just thought, first film, let's just kind of go for it, shall we?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's just go.
Anything bar this will be fine now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's weird actually because I think it was only over one night, so it just went so quick. The whole process. It was just
we started at 5 o'clock in the evening and went through till because it was in November, the coldest night of the year.
6 a.m. or 7 a.m.
I think we actually finally were out about 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Yeah, but it was absolutely freezing. It was November, so I was doing laps with the crew. Like, come on, guys, let's get warm. We were all running around.
It was.
But yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. Right now, okay. So I'm going to work right to left. Steve, hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Hi. Do you have a question for Katie?
When can I watch the film Rats? Do you know if there's any Canadian release yet?
I don't. You'll have to ask Mark. I think we're still waiting on Picture Lock for that. But Mark Logan, who directed it, will probably be able to tell you. But I'll find out for you, though, and I'll let you know. But I think we're still waiting on Picture Lock at the moment. So, I don't know, maybe like midsummer? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
I know. It's like you have to understand that these things are done by people not as their day job. They're done in the evenings and weekends. And they always take longer than you hope they're going to it. So, but yeah, once we will know, it'll be. I'm assuming it'll going to be going to festivals first, Steve.
I think so.
Mark will hopefully try and get us into. Okay, sorry, Steve. Thank you for your question.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
I'm going to mute you for the moment. And then I'm going to ask Paddy.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Let me see if I can get Paddy not muted.
Hi.
Hi, Paddy.
Hey. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It feels like it's been since August since we've seen each other all together.
It's been too long. When am I coming over to AD on your film?
As soon as physically possible. Nick will tell you we need an AD.
Oh yeah, I heard. See, if I get there,
I know. Tell me about it. It'll be a different film. Different film. I have 2 questions for you. Sorry, I interrupted Nick. I feel awful. So the first one is the one I asked in the comments, which was, have you been using the same DOP from your first film all the way along?
So the first 3 were done by the same DOP, who's called Jason Weidner. And the last film, Mindless, was done by Matt Camlin, who I originally interviewed to do Keepsake, which failed. And then I called him back and said, I've rewritten the script. What are you saying? Do you want to do it? And he said yes. So yeah, Matt did Mindless, and for my next project, I don't know if I did that. I imagine like the whole
cheap special effects.
For my next project, I'm using hopefully, I think he's on board. Is a guy called Sashi Kassoon, who is an amazing DOP, and he's just actually worked on The Heart of the Ocean with Ron Howard. So yeah.
Wow. Nice. Amazing.
So yeah, hopefully he'll be
And just Matt.
Dates permitting.
And Matt did The Night Whispered.
And Matt did The Night Whispered as well.
Yes.
See, we're all very incestuous.
And the second question is just because you talk a lot about social realism. I guess the main question I have is how did you first get interested in the social realism angle tied in with horror? Because I am as well, so.
Oh, okay. When did I first? I mean, the first social realism film I probably registered at watching was when I did 60s social realism at uni. So we did a lot of, A Kind of Loving and all kind of kitchen sink 60s dramas. Sunday Night and Saturday Morning. I'm trying to think of them off my head. This Sporting Life and those kind of ones. And yeah, they kind of resonated with me, with the kind of idea of the mundane anti-hero, kind of just trying to get through the day, trying to make money, just trying to basically live. But a whole film around that and how they're kind of struggling through life. And I actually really like to read plays as well. So I'd read A Death of a Salesman, I'd read Saved, I'd read what was the other one I was thinking of just then? It's gone. So that kind of idea, that he's just a man. It's just it's not an amazing story. It's not about anything, but it's on that level where it's ultimate connection that you can have with that person and understand that this isn't an amazing person. They're never going to make something of themselves. They're never going to be in the newspapers, on the telly or anything. Not that I'm saying that you have to. That's how you make something of yourself, by the way. What a dick. But that kind of idea that it is just a real person and it's somebody that you could know, that you could meet, that you could walk into, and I just feel like those kind of stories really just resonate.
I fully agree. Anyone who's read my short stories, I say I basically allow myself twist one thing. It's like otherwise I try and make it as real as possible for exactly the same reason you're saying. Because
I just find it more scary.
Yeah.
I just find it more scary if I thought I can't really say with my other films. I'm gonna give away the spoilers, but it's like with my with the Paper Round. I mean, imagine kind of living in that kind of situation that and I like the idea of guilt and drawing on people's kind of heightened emotions as well. But the first Mike Leigh film I saw was Another Year. And then I was like,
I don't know that one at all.
And I've just watched every film he's ever made, and even Cleo Bernard made The Selfish Giant, which is an amazing film. It's kind of set up north, really kind of very grim. It's set up north, and it's about these 2 children, and they come from really, really poor families, and they start collecting scrap and selling it. And it's just based around them 2, and they are amazing in it. But I don't know, just that kind of everyday struggle, and just trying to make it from one day to the next, and not ever really aspiring to anything other than to just trying to survive in a really horrible world. I don't know. If that's a good answer.
Okay. No, that's a good answer.
Out of the world. Okay, got it.
I got it. So depressing. My friend calls me melancholy all the time.
Really? That's a lovely word.
Yeah, my friend Lewis is like, you're so melancholy. And I'm like, what?
You should move to Sweden. They're all like that. But yeah, I just moved to the Scandinavian
countries. Have you heard this new song? He's like, oh, it's so depressing.
Paddy, thank you very much. I'm going to mute you.
Thank you, Paddy.
Thank
I'll
you.
see you soon.
I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Oh, you are seeing him soon.
ScreamVention.
Yeah,
ScreamVention. A couple of weeks time. Don't
know
wait.
what you were doing.
I tell you, unless it's written down, I don't. I do learn lines. Honestly, I can learn lines. That's the trouble. I remember the wonderful actor who you would not remember, a guy called Michael Charvel-Martin.
Okay. I was going to challenge you though, because I'm pretty good at old guys. I do, but I don't.
He was a comedian, and Dave Allen. Paddy might remember, is Irish comedian, Dave Allen, 1970s. Michael Shovham. Basically, Michael said when he got to my age, that basically you've got a certain length of tape, and when one thing comes in, it knocks something else out the other. Let's see. So if I learn something, if I learn something, something has to go. Really, that's why I can't hold on to things anymore. That's just, what is it to be alive, basically.
We've done a film recently about something very similar. We're getting the word out there.
Hence the casting. Obviously, I didn't need to act in the slightest. Derek, incidentally, Scottish Geese, I'm trying to add you, but I can't find you for some reason. That's why you're not receiving an invitation. I will try. We're actually over time. Are you okay to carry on talking?
I'm okay. Is that all right?
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine.
Shut up, Katie. Keep going on.
The dog's lying on the ground. Sorry,
yeah.
seriously.
Sorry, my glasses keep
Yeah, and also the dog is farting every so often as well.
Good.
Just to really make life interesting. Oh God, it's the parmesan. I swear is the worst part of it.
What is that?
It's nice. It's lavender, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry. Yes. Join chattering with Nicholas Vince and find out about air fresheners. Right. Jonathan, you were next in line. I'm going to unmute Jonathan. Let me just check.
Here we go. Intense questions about to pop up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There you are, Jonathan. And I'm going to mute Paddy.
Oh, hi, Paddy.
Bye, Paddy.
I can see you waving.
You sound as if you have a nasty cold, Paddy, anyway.
I do, Nick.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Looks like on his deathbed there. That damn Amelia. Bless him.
You look so pretty.
Oh, do you want to rub your belly?
I can do that myself.
Help me.
Jonathan, stop taking the mic out of our other friends. What question would you like to ask Katie, Jonathan?
I'm just gonna keep it straightforward. Katie, what was think of two movies that inspired you to become a director?
Can you think of two movies which inspired you to become a director?
I'm thinking because this is a very important question.
This is your starter.
Yeah, because I asked it.
Yeah. Probably The Red Shoes by Michael Powell, which is 1948.
Oh shit!
I think it's Martin Scorsese's favourite film, actually.
Along with George Romero.
Yeah, it's such a good film. Maybe Cat People 1942, or Bob Clark's Black Christmas. Love that film.
Really?
Yeah, love that film.
Oh, sorry.
There's mixes there.
The original Black Christmas.
Yeah, the original. I think 1986, maybe.
Sorry.
Nope. 1974.
Thanks, Steve.
There's so many dates in this head. I can't keep them all here. But yeah, they're both probably my favourite films, and I watch them all the time. So yeah, I think they probably influenced me a lot. But yeah, Red Shoes is amazing.
I've always heard of the Cat People. Never actually managed to see
There's a 1980s Cat People, which is actually quite a funny story. So at uni, me and my best friend, who's also called Katie, we were doing a film degree together, and we had to see Cat People, and she was like, I'm not coming, I'm going to lob it off, whatever, I'm not coming, I'll watch it at home. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went along, watched the 1942 version, wrote my paper on it, and then the next day she came saying, what was that? And then kind of started spieling off all this weird stuff that had happened, and I was like, what version did you watch? She's like, well, I've written my paper on the, and I was like, no, that's the remake. So yeah, that was funny. It was funny at the time. Anyway.
And I'm sure she's still laughing about it.
Yeah, but yeah, Cat People was really good as well. And yeah, Michael Powell did. Oh my
Peeping
god,
Tom.
He did Peeping Tom, and he also did Matter of Life and
Matter
Death
of Life
as well,
and Death,
which
of
I
course.
love, which is really good. I saw that recently.
This is the Powell
actually.
Pressburger.
Yeah, sorry, Powell Pressburger. They
Yeah.
both did. But yeah, check out the Red Shoe. Good.
Right, he is the the example of don't go out and make a horror movie if you want to kill your career.
Yeah, exactly.
Peeping Tom is a really disturbing movie.
Yeah, and it was before Psycho as well. It's
Yeah.
like the original kind of the slasher film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, them two probably. But
Okay, Damon, we really struggled to get. Sorry, Jonathan. I'm just going to mute Jonathan. If I can click on the right thing on the screen and just invite Damon. I'm going to unmute Damon. There we are, and I'll also try and see if I can get Derek on as well. Derek, sorry, Damon. Damon, hi, Damon. Would you like to ask your question of Katie, please? No.
I can't hear you, Damon.
Because we can't hear you.
Speaky. We haven't been drinking anything. There was just Evian in here. That is all.
Damon.
Do you remember that sign language we taught each other? No, I'm joking. We didn't.
He loves you. I mean, I got that bit. It's not. We can't hear you. You're not muted at my end at all. Right. Okay.
Will we come back to Damon? Text me, Damon.
Yeah.
Text me
We'll tell you what. Whilst Paul Yan, when you are making a film, do you think about how it will communicate to foreign audiences, or does it not cross your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you make any kind of film, it's kind of audience as a whole. I don't really singular it out as kind of English or European. I think it's across the board, which is probably why quite a lot of my films don't have that much dialogue. They're not dialogue heavy. I mean,
interesting.
Mindless does have quite a bit of dialogue, but that's more just an establishment of characters, really. Whereas Dull is really limited. I'm just trying to think, actually. I don't think the Porcelain Ground has any dialogue in it at all, and the Paper Round has 3 lines. So I think I don't really consider it just kind of one audience. I think it's kind of across the board, and I put all my films into all festivals across the world, so it's not just English or anything like that. But I think again with the idea of social realism and that kind of connection. That translates through anything, that translates through any kind of language. I think if you kind of connect with the character and understand what's going on, not through dialogues as such, but through the shots and through the way that it's shown to you, I think that you can kind of get a feel for the film, hopefully. But I haven't yet been asked to subtitle a film, but that would be amazing if I did. But yeah, I'm not dialogue heavy, so maybe we'll see.
I've been subtitled into Japanese. Rob Nevitt's Metamorphosis. Yeah, because it was.
Oh, that's cool. I
just
want to
listen
do
to that. It's
I'm going to put so much dialogue in my next film, just so I can do that.
I want to see it with the Japanese subtitles, just because I think that is just very, very cool. I'm having no luck finding a Scottish kid. I'm sure it did. Damon, I think, has actually texted you a question.
Oh, has it? Oh, sorry. I was like, text me, but I'm not going to read it.
Let's see.
Not count. Let me read it first, see if I can answer it.
No, I'll have to read it as well.
Oh, okay. Not counting Keepsake, what has been your toughest obstacle and how did you overcome it? Also, did you know that the package will be at ScreamVention? Plug!
I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to be at ScreamVention.
I'm joking. God, biggest obstacle. I think obviously Keepsake was huge, but I don't know if Mindless was the biggest obstacle. I think I was aware of the fact.
Bad.
No, but I think I was aware of the fact that I'd taken Keepsake, I'd rewritten it, and I kind of made it to fit with what I could work with. So it wasn't necessarily an obstacle, but I think it was worrying at the time because obviously I had Keepsake in my head and I kind of really wanted to make that. So, and I was aware that everyone knew that I'd kind of had this kind of big kind of failed film. So I was a bit like, oh no.
Because it's not a failed film, and many people fail at Kickstarter. Yeah. You're not alone in that one.
I know. So yeah, I mean, Not really. No. I think Keepsake's been my worst one yet. To be fair, it's been my biggest obstacle. But watch this space. It's about to get crazy. I'm about to lose hair and everything. But yeah, I think probably Keepsake was the biggest obstacle. And then Mindless, and just taking everything organic from Keepsake and rewriting it into Mindless, and kind of just drawing on doing what I know best.
Okay, all right. There's a couple more questions that. There's one more. Crispy, The Selfish Giant is based on an Oscar Wilde story.
I know, Chris.
I was going to say the same thing. It's one of.
I love Oscar Wilde
Oscar
short
Wilde.
stories. Oh my god!
I
what's the
literally
one?
cry at The Selfish. Listen, I literally cry. I read it to Craig, and I have difficulty because I will cry.
The Happy Prince. That's a goodie. Is it
I'm
The
getting
Nightingale and the Rose, Chris? Is it? I don't know. You're going to tell me. The one about the rocket as well. That's always like really like.
Oh yeah.
Arrogant and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm going to shine in the sky, and then like they let him off, and he like falls into like a little shit ditch. He's like, oh, I'm not great anymore. They are really good though. I'm not really like narrating it well, but yeah. But yeah, I love The Selfish Giant. That's a good one.
Okay, so Matt Cameron, who we were talking, incidentally, Matt was the DOP on The Night Whispers as
well. Matthew! What is he saying?
He's just saying he's checking in from a shoot.
All right. Busy.
Well, that's what we like to hear, really. And why cannot I get Derek McEwen up? This is some reason.
Damon said, I only said that because you're the AD and I thought it was relevant. It is relevant. I'm sorry. That is true. Everyone, the package is screening at ScreamVention in Ireland over FrightFest.
In a couple of weeks.
I AD'd on it. But at the same time, something slightly more important might be happening.
Yeah, the reason why I'm not in Glasgow.
For Mindless. For the world premiere of Mindless.
For the world premiere of Mindless.
3:40, 26th of February at the GFT. Remember that.
I'm in Ireland. Paddy will be joining me. But guests Simon Bamford, Barbie Weil, ScreamVention, and Dublin. Derek, I do not know what is going on with Google. What we've done to upset Google.
You want to text me, Derek? Oh, I don't have your number.
No. Derek, if you have a question, I know you said you want to apologise. You don't have to apologise for putting my face over your face or your face over my face on something which you did earlier. I spotted.
Chris Burdon, can you just stop like giving all us? So Chris has said Scorsese's editor was Michael Powell's wife. Chris is an encyclopedia this evening.
Isn't he?
Why isn't he on here, Chris? Why aren't you on here?
Why aren't you asking questions rather than actually trying to? Yeah. There's a question we had in from Joe actually before the show. I'm going to field this one. With the success of Deadpool, do you see a possible shift in original ideas being more popular in filmmaking? Now, we were discussing this because obviously Deadpool is actually based on a comic. It's part of the Marvel Universe. It's part of X-Men, etc., etc. I think what's very original about it is its approach. It's
the level of violence, definitely,
the level of violence,
and the audience that it's aimed for. But I guess in the idea of originality, it's part of the Marvel.
It's part of the Marvel, but I think the approach to it, this is not the same audience that's going to see Avengers Assemble or Captain America.
Although I'm going to try and sneak my little brother in. It was some stilts came in. You'll be all right.
So I think it's interesting. I think the reason, and we've talked about this before, that basically I think the reason why publishers, producers, etc., want to go with products that are well known is because they know there's an audience, therefore they're likely to get their money back. If they go with something that's completely new and unknown, there is a real challenge to actually get people through the door to actually watch the movie. You know, it's very hard to actually sell something that is completely unknown if there isn't already an existing audience for something. Which is why they tend to be much lower budgeted films and independent. And that's why you tend to get stories like that made in independent cinema rather than...
Yeah, tell me about it. Preaching to the choir, my friend.
I know. So
we didn't even talk about Mindless.
We didn't really talk about. We did a bit talk about Mindless. What would you want to talk about Mindless?
I don't know.
I think you're a really nice director.
Oh, okay, that was enough.
You're a
We don't
very
need to know
nice
about the
director.
film. That's all we need to know.
Well, again, it's spoilers. Now, you have referred to Mindless. We had a great crew,
Yeah.
including Matt and Max, who then came on to do DP, including Mike Chubb, who's sound, who then came on to Night Whispered as well, basically, and Chris Burdon, funnily enough.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Basically, I took your crew, including Candy's
Yeah,
producer.
you just took my crew.
I took your crew and producer and put it into Mindless. It was very straightforward. It was a great bunch of people. A great bunch of people. Derek, I really cannot find you. Chris Paul, this is I think that is everything. We're now 8:15, and somebody is really, really wanting to go outside, guys. So I
really need to go out. I really want to go outside. Not the dog. I don't. I'm not smoking.
Your interview from the Retribution set will be live tomorrow. Just had a message. This has just come in. I really do want to share this. If you go onto Facebook, etc. Paddy, I worked with Paddy on a really interesting film called Retribution at the end of last year. That was an amazing shoot. I really had such a wonderful time.
I'm jealous.
Oh,
I wanted to be there.
Please, I want to go back and do another Paddy Murphy film. Trust me, it's great time that we had. And my interview, my behind-the-scenes interview, will be going up tomorrow, according to Paddy. So that's great. YouTube Red on Netflix as a way to. Oh, Derek wanted to know if we can consider using YouTube Red. YouTube Red is the subscription to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's out in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah, it's paid subscription to YouTube, so you can get paid content on YouTube.
Okay.
It's not quite come over to the UK yet, I don't think. As like Derek, who's also a publisher on YouTube, I've not had a notification it's up and live yet.
Okay.
But would you? It depends on distribution and the deal and the and the money
depends,
We'll see. On Netflix, you know, hey, if people are going to pay us money for our movies, probably. Isn't Paper Round playing the Happenstance Film Festival March 15th in Haverhill, Massachusetts?
Do you know what? I'm really bad with this. It is. The Paper Round is playing in Massachusetts in Haverhill. Haverhill on March the 15th. I think it starts at 6 o'clock, and it is supporting Happenstance. By George, God, I'm really bad names.
George Fraser.
The guy that said it. That's
George, I don't know if we will make sure that we're a friend on Twitter.
So that's exciting. I actually haven't seen Happenstance yet, so I'm looking forward to be sending a link, please, for that. That would be lovely. Yes, that'd be good. I wish you could be there though. The States, that would be amazing. But it's good.
Yeah. Okay, right. Thank you, Katie.
That's okay.
This has been great. We've gone on for ages. Talking, it's 8:15. We started this now at the quarter. I am going to be at ScreamVention in a couple of weeks, but in the meantime, I'm going to be chattering with Lisa Ovey.
Oh, cool. Puppet Killer, wasn't it?
Puppet Killer, yes, cool. With the Soska sisters and Gigi, and I'm really looking forward to talking. So that's next week.
Okay, cool.
And thank you so much to everybody
thank you guys.
So...
And I'll see everyone in Glasgow, or most of you, hopefully. I'll be the wreck on stage introducing the film called Mindless.
Write on your hand or on a card.
I'll write on my hand, or I'll take some.
Okay, this is
cards or something. I don't know.
Been chattering with Nicholas Vince, and I've been chattering with Katie Bonham.
Thank you so much.
I hope we see you next week, guys. We'll make sure that there is people are waving goodbye, and we'll make sure there's a link to which one, Porcelain Ground?
Yeah, Porcelain Ground, Dull, and I can probably link the Paper Round as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's playing at the festival. No, it's playing festival. Sorry, it's still on the festival.
TA. Oh, here he is. He's on the floor. He's having a nap. We didn't know when to say that. Yeah. Awesome.
All right then.
Okay.
Good night, folks. Thank you very much indeed. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.